What's up, you guys? Stoopzz back again with another video, and I know it's been a couple days since I've posted anything, but we are getting to the end of Legion Season 6, I believe, and there's not too much to report on. I've had some guides in the work, but I'm kind of holding out to see what classes are going to get changed following this new season launch. So Season 7 this Tuesday, or by the time you're watching this video, the new season has started, and I'm sure there's going to be some class changes at least before then, at that time, or even getting closer to the LAN event, the World of Warcraft Arena LAN event, the finals for the spring finals, I believe. I think we're in spring, and there is a few videos that I am working on, a Wrestler Shaman guide. I want to update my Discipline Priest guide because I've been playing that a lot, and then I also want to continue the series on how you counter various classes in the game. But I'm sure you've read the title of this video, and in today, I kind of want to talk about, the Mistweaver Monk going into the next expansion, my thoughts on them, and where they're currently at in the game. Now, for many of you who do not know, I started my channel as a Mistweaver channel. That wasn't my end goal. It was just a class that I was currently playing, and then I knew at some point I was going to try and branch out to other healers. Ironically enough, I wanted to be a Demon Hunter and then a Windwalker channel, because I was just tired of healing. But then when I played a DPS, I realized I just like healing too much, and I'm not a big fan of playing DPS classes. I already had a Windwalker Monk at 110, and I wanted to try out the class, so I said, okay, it's an easy swap for me. This is the beginning of Legion. I'll just hop over to playing a Mistweaver. In Season 1, Mistweavers were really good at the time because everyone was figuring out all the other classes, how classes work. It was a big DPS race. Walking Dead was insane back then. Frost DKs were honestly crazier than they are now with their chill streak ability, and Mistweavers had a lot of healing, and they also had Mist Walk, which made them almost unkillable. So I played Walking Dead and did really good in Season 1, and then I've played Mistweaver ever since then, almost every single season. But recently I discovered that what makes me actually happy is, making video content and streaming. That is what I enjoy, and I've wanted to make myself, or put myself in the position to make some of the best PvP guides on YouTube. So I wanted to learn every other healer. I do play some DPS, and you have seen some DPS guides from me in the past, but I have been playing, or have played every healer at a high rating, and nothing crazy. I'm not a multi-rank 1 player on multiple healers, but I wanted to pride myself in learning every single healer, getting into around 2400 experience, and then go from there to making guides on YouTube because there's not that many. I picked up the HPAL, I've done that before. I picked up the RSham, I've played discs now. I just got to 2450 with under like 80 wins, so I can't really push Glad on that. Unfortunately, it's just too many wins and not enough time, and long story, but that was a lot of fun as well. And I've also played a little bit with Ardruid. I might pick up the Ardruid a lot more, and I also have played Mistweaver Monks. So I played almost all the healers at a high level. And after playing the other healers, I started to realize how bad the Mistweaver Monk really is. Now, I know with me saying that, a lot of you guys are going to go insane. I know a lot of players at maybe just sub 2k or 2k levels think Mistweavers are really annoying, and I will admit they are really annoying to deal with, and that is part of the problem. They also are really good in RBGs, so I'm only coming at it from a arena perspective. I don't really know how they are in PvE. They might be good, but from an arena perspective, after playing the other healers and after playing Mistweaver multiple seasons at a decently high rating, you really start to feel some of the limitations of the class, and you also get to understand the frustrations of other players when playing against Mistweavers. When you are playing the Mistweaver Monk, you start to realize all the limitations, and when you fight against Mistweaver Monks and you're not educated on Mistweaver Monks, so if you don't understand how they work or you're frustrated with them, I recommend you check out just one of my guides so you can figure it out, educate yourself. Mistweaver doesn't have Purge, they don't have Wind Shear, Priests have Purge, they don't have Mass Dispel, they can't stop any incoming CC like Holy Paladins can use Sack. Now, they can't avoid CC by just being out of line of sight, but again, that's not fun for the enemy player or even yourself. It's pretty boring just line of sighting the whole time and just avoiding being in the fight altogether. Now, going into Battle for Azeroth, I'm really hoping that they do a complete class rework, okay? I do not want them to be extremely overpowered. I'm not asking for insane buffs. I'm just asking for some changes. I don't like the fact that Mistweavers, if you're unaware, completely rely on healing. They have no utility. And what I mean by that, I mean defensive utility. All they have is healing. Their cocoon is a shell, but it gets weaker and weaker and weaker at the end of the season because people are dealing more damage. Season after season, people are dealing more damage, and they barely buff the cocoon shell, and they do from time to time by like 10%, but it's not enough. But there is no Iron Bark, there is no Blessing of Sacrifice like a Holy Paladin, there's no Earth Shield, there's no Earthen Totem, there is no Pain Suppression, there's nothing that reduces the amount of damage somebody does to your target. It's all healing based. So in dampening, it sucks. you start to extremely fast, and then your only CC is this consistent, repetitive end-cap stun, which is very frustrating for a lot of players. Now, they are nerfing this in Battle for Azeroth. They are nerfing end-cap. Your incapacitate, your paralysis, that little CC they have, the instant CC on a 15-second cooldown. They are nerfing this, I believe, to like 45 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, maybe more. This could change. All this is subject to change. But that's their only CC, and if you're nerfing that, which is fine, I understand it's frustrating. I hate playing against Mistweaver Monks on my DPS classes when I'm playing with other friends or whatever. The problem with Mistweaver is that when they are good, they get a buff, right? You'll see Mistweavers get a buff at the beginning of a season. It's happened in like Season 3, I think. At the beginning of Season 3, everyone was playing Mistweaver Monk because their healing was so absurd. And then people figured out how powerful Way of the Crane was, and then they nerfed that. And that's the only way you would tune Mistweavers. They took away Mistwalk, that really gutted the class, and then all they would do after that would just, you know, increase mana regeneration or buff healing of a spell or nerf healing of a spell. You can't change anything else in the toolkit. Like, they don't have any things where Earth Shield is, you know, healing for too much, it's reducing too much damage. Let's just lower that down a little bit. Earthen Shield is too much. All they do is they just nerf or buff healing of spells because there's nothing else for them to even work on. And the problem with that is when you buff Mistweaver healing, it either heals for too much where it's OP, or it just heals enough. And if it's just healing enough, then you'd rather play another class that has defensive utilities or other classes that have purge. Now, you have noticed, or you may have noticed, that most Mistweavers are no longer using AMA. You're not seeing any ancient Mistweaver or monks. You're seeing a lot of monks playing Way of the Crane. And in the current ladder, all of the comps that you're seeing are very cheesy comps, like very niche, like just troll comps, right? You've probably seen a lot of players, and shout out to Whoopi. I mean, if there's ever a guy that's going to continue to play Mistweaver Monk and has played it this long, a lot of respect goes out to him. He's probably one of the best Mistweaver Monks on NA. I will put a link to his Twitch channel, I believe, in the description box below, so you can check him out. So I'm not shaming anybody for playing the class or these comps. Don't hate the player, hate the game kind of a thing, but he's a great player, and he has been playing, I think, Turbo in the past, but I saw him playing Windwalker and then Protection Warrior, Prot Warrior. That comp is pretty unkillable. They have nice burst with taunt, and he plays Way of the Crane in that build. But other than that, you're seeing people like JB playing double DH Way of the Crane because they have two reverse magic. So every time he gets CC'd, or every time he gets CC'd during his Way of the Crane through polymorphs or fears, they can reverse that, and he can continue to heal the team with Way of the Crane. But outside of that, there's not that many comps that play with Mistweaver, and there's not a lot of reasons to take a Mistweaver unless you're playing one of those niche comps. Maybe you're playing Smoke Bomb Cleave, but you're not going to see RMP with Mistweaver, RM Pala, you're not going to see Feral Mage, you're not going to see Cupid, you're not going to see Jungle, you're not going to see a lot of comps, even double caster comps. There's some, like Demo Arcane Mage I've seen before, but you're not going to see a majority of comps. S-Play, you're not going to see those comps with a Mistweaver. They'd rather have a Shaman or a Paladin. There's just not that many comp options other than Zug comp options, other than, you know, Turbo or TSG or a Prot comp. DH Warrior, which is even better with an Ardruid. On EU, you also used to see players play with Enhance, Windwalker, Mistweaver, but now you're seeing a lot of players say, you know what, I'd rather just play with an Ardruid, or I'd rather just play with a Paladin. There's better comp options. Again, Mistweavers don't have an interrupt like they used to. They go really fast because they don't have that mana regain ability. It was like Mana Tea back in MoP. They don't have Purge. Once again, they don't have anything else that other healers have, and they don't have anything unique other than their own mobility, which at a certain point isn't really helpful, and people can learn to counter that, and it's also very frustrating to new players. So I am hoping for a complete Mistweaver rework going into this next expansion. I think Mistweavers are just too much of a one-trick pony, and I hate the fact that they're forced into playing one spec, which is Way of the Crane. It's a fun spec to play. In 2v2s, I have a blast playing Way of the Crane. It's one of my favorite specs to play in 2v2s, and I've been doing quite well playing Double Monk, which is really troll. It shouldn't be a spec that you're forced to playing all the time. I see some players not even using Counteract Magic anymore. I see some players not even using Healing Spheres anymore because it's not worth taking those spells over your standard toolkit, because the standard toolkit is just so much better than those other spells. You can't afford to have Cocoon on a 3-minute cooldown. Dome of Mist, Counteract Magic, and Chrysalis should not be in the same talent bracket or the same row because they're all so important to have. Losing Chrysalis to pick up Dome of Mist actually sucks, and losing Counteract Magic to pick up Dome of Mist actually sucks. So for me personally, I will not be maining Mistweaver this next season. I don't care how much that hurts me. I just don't have fun playing anymore. I'm so sick of being told that I wish you had Purge, I wish you played Disc, I wish you were an H-Pal. I'd rather be a healer that's more well-rounded, that people won't complain about all the time. I can't stand that about Mistweavers, and I'm not saying that you can't push high on Mistweaver. I'm not saying that Mistweavers are a bad healer and you can't have fun with them. There's still great players playing Mistweaver, but it's definitely one of the weaker healers across the board, and it's definitely one of the healers that are least desired across the board. Still will play Mistweaver on my stream. I'm going to be playing all of the healers. I might be trying to pick up more Discipline Priest. Again, I've been playing that a lot. I might pick up some more H-Pal, but I will not be playing solely Mistweaver this next season. I will not be putting all my emphasis in just, what's the word I'm even looking for? I can't think of a word, but I will not be putting myself into that class anymore. I will not be putting all my time, there it is, time, into that class anymore. It's just not worth it for me anymore. I've played it a lot, and if they do not get some type of utility and just nerf their healing, maybe reduce their mobility, but give me a kick again, or give me a purge, make it so when I use my Rising Sun kick, it purges the target, something like that. I don't know. Just give me something that's different and unique and not just revolves around pure healing output. It's just not a fun way to play any class, in my opinion, after a long period of time. But before I end this video, I will say once again, if you were to ask me, hey Stoopzz, what healer do you recommend I pick up for my first time healing? I would probably say Mistweaver or Holy Paladin, because they're easy to pick up and you can do well right off the gate, in my opinion. Mistweaver is one of the easiest healers, in my opinion, once again, to get 2k with, 2200 with, because you just don't die if you're good at it and players aren't used to countering you. But once you get into the higher upper echelon and you realize, damn, I don't have a purge, damn, I have to always play Way of the Crane, I'm going all the time, I can die in a stun. These are fundamental problems with the class that have not been visited in a long time, and I'm hoping that in this next expansion, Blizzard looks at Mistweaver and decides to give them some love. Please, Blizzard. But that's gonna do this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. If you have any more questions about the Mistweaver, or you feel the same way, you can let me know in the comment section below. Try to miss me on my Twitch live stream where I answer all of your guys' questions in depth. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.